Okay, welcome to Sunset Rewind. My name is Dale Thayer, and today we're going to talk boys varsity basketball at Los Alamitos. And to do this, we have none other than the head coach of the program, Nathan Berger. Welcome, Coach.
Nice to be here.
Yes, good to have you. So, Coach, rather than breaking down the X's and O's, we want to talk about you and your players more, and just what these student athletes bring to practice every single day, bring to game nights, and why this team matters to the school and the community, and ultimately give the fans a reason to come out and watch and support the team.
I love that.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
All right.
Excited about my group and good group of kids, like you just said. I mean,
Yeah.
Sports to me, maybe I'm biased about it, but sports is the heartbeat of a school. So
I agree.
it's fun to be around.
Yeah, we're going to get to that fan support for sure. But let's start with you, because without you, let's face it, we're just playing pickup basketball, aren't we? We're just rolling
Maybe.
that ball out. And I don't think that's a winning formula. So you are the glue. People might be wondering, who is this guy on the sideline? We don't know a lot about him. He's pacing, he's yelling at the refs and doing what you do. But let me see if I have this bio right. It's your 5th season with the program.
Correct.
You played for the school.
Yep.
Graduated in 09. You were
Yep.
on the 07 team that
Yep.
won the CIF championship.
Correct.
Pretty impressive. So just tell us, what drew you to coach? What do you love most about coaching high school basketball?
I think, like I said earlier, sports in general, just love being around it, the camaraderie, kind of that team atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of my best friends are the people that I played with and got to interact with. You learn so many lessons for it that apply to life. I think hopefully I'm better at my day job because of things that I learned from my coaches, my teammates, all those lessons. Got drawn into coaching just because of, again, that environment. It was fun to be a player. I loved
Yes.
playing the game. I loved other sports too and just being around it. So I never wanted to leave. Got into it. My high school coaches convinced me that I should coach right after high school, and was kind of playing around with extending my career. But right when that was over and went into coaching, I've just been bouncing around trying to win games every season and figure out how I can make 16-year-olds make more free throws than the other team.
Well, you're doing a good job so far, because my notes show that you have 3 league championships in just 5 years. Really, 4 years, because you're in your 5th season now. Who knows? Maybe you'll go 4 for 5.
I wouldn't complain about that.
Yeah. So excellent start. And you look pretty young. Do you still play? Do you get out there and play with the kids?
Sometimes if I get frustrated enough
Yeah.
in a drill of how it's going and I feel like, it's
Yeah.
not that hard, let me show how it's done, I'll get out there. But other than that, it's too hard for me to get out of bed after just, the emotional roller coaster of these games, watching and being on the sidelines.
Right.
So you said pacing. I do pace a fair
Yeah.
amount. So
Yeah.
that's about
Yeah,
it for
good.
me.
Yeah.
I don't need to do too much more.
And do you teach at the school also, or
I'm the
just
athletic
coach?
director.
You're the AD also.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. And more than just basketball, we kind of touched on this, but what are you trying to teach these kids? Because it is more than just playing a sport.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Kind of our motto and everything that we talk about is like, find a way at the end of the day to be better than you were today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to come with mistakes. One of the reasons I love basketball is if you're in there, like, it doesn't come down to that one play. It's not
Right.
baseball where you swing the bat 3 times today and that's it. And you really have to capitalize on that. There's failure left and right in basketball. You never play a game where the other team doesn't score. So you're
Right.
going to fail on defense every day.
Right.
And really, if you're not missing any shots, you're not taking enough.
Right.
So if you're a really good player, you're going to miss shots.
Right.
And so kind of responding to that, being able to grow, understanding that things aren't linear in life. It's not
Right.
linear in sports for progression, but the teamwork aspect of kind of putting your head together with someone else and improving from that, I think that's kind of what it's all about.
Well said. Life lessons. No one's perfect. We're all going to make mistakes, but you learn from them and you move on.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach. Well, let's recap the season so far and maybe talk about this team and the players a little bit more. But before we do that, we'd be remiss not to mention last year's CIF championship.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Great group of guys. A core group of guys who played varsity as sophomores. I think it was the most sophomores we had on varsity in program history, at least that I was aware of. So they had a ton of experience playing together and playing at a high level. They were successful all 3 years. Like you alluded to, they won 3 straight league titles. And it was just fun to be around a group of kids who, could flat out play. They made me look good. They made each other look good.
Right.
Got to play in some really fun environments. A sold-out game at our place for semifinals.
Nothing better.
The championship game had thousands of people there. I mean, it's just cool in sports to get to that moment or that environment that you genuinely are trying to tell the kids, like, not everyone gets to do this. Like, yes, we want to win today, but also, like, take 3 seconds to enjoy the moment, because it's a rare thing to just be here. And for them to have the success in those moments too was pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you've done it now as a player and a coach, so that experience I would think is
Rode the
invaluable.
bench as a player, though.
Well, hey, we didn't need to bring that up.
Practice player.
Right. But you were there.
Yeah.
You saw what it took to do it. So with
definitely
that
learned
experience,
from that.
Yeah, and now you've done it as a coach. So seems like a good guy to play basketball for. You've been there, now you can take others to that mountaintop because you've been there, right?
Definitely.
Now you're the guide. Let's just lead them. Okay, so wrapping up a league play, let's see what we have left. Well, let's talk about the season so far, because it seems like non-league is a lot of tournaments. You guys had one of the toughest schedules, I would say, in Southern California. Your record stands at 4-5, but I don't think it tells the whole story.
Yeah.
You got to look at the strength of the schedule, and I don't know if there's a tougher schedule. So,
there are a few out there that are tougher, and that's on purpose. Try and challenge our guys. I think our league is a lot tougher than I think people think overall, and the credit that it gets. This year, with playing all the games past Christmas and New Year's, it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you got to turn around. And there are no nights off. I mean, there are teams at the top and teams at the bottom for sure. Every year it filters out that way, but last year's a prime example. I think like second place was 7-5 and sixth place was 6-6. I mean, it's a gauntlet.
Right.
Maybe not the Trinity League gauntlet, but this is high school sports, and you got to be prepared for that. So we want our preseason non-league schedule to kind of mimic what that's going to be like in training habits. Training, hey, you might have a really tough loss on a Wednesday and have to turn around and be ready to go on Friday against a really good team. This has an impact on your season. So really trying to bring in that environment that forces consistency and mental toughness for success. And yeah, like you said, the schedule has some big names on it. Even the teams that aren't the big names, that kind of look smaller, are really tough places to play. Our first game at Cypress, I mean, a Friday night at Cypress is not an easy game to play. Had a lot of new fresh faces on our team. I was second guessing in the second quarter that this was our first game of the year, that I put these guys into the fire like that. But I think our recent week has shown that, we can grow and win games, and some of that failure per se at the beginning of the year, hopefully we're learning our lessons and progressing.
Right. Yeah, it looks like you're on a little winning streak here.
Yeah.
You've won your last 3 and you beat an undefeated Rolling Hills Prep.
Very good win for us.
Yeah.
Not one that I had on my bingo card of expecting to happen, but the boys played hard. They fought in a way that we hadn't really seen in a while. Maybe they were frustrated with stacking up the losses or whatever it is, but found a way as a team to be gritty and kind of fight hard, and played a very good team. Even our last game this week against Torrey Pines, another very talented team, and just happy that the team overall is fighting harder than their opponent kind of in the most recent games, and scrappier, first to the ground on loose balls, taking charges, doing those stuff that wins games. We've seen a lot more in the last week.
Well, I was going to ask you, what have you learned about your team so far this year from this non-league play? And you've touched on it, but are there any other words that you might use to describe your team?
I think that we have a lot of people who can contribute, which is positive, and I think that's something that our early losses and our early non-league, we're still trying to figure out. And there are some teams who are 10 games into their season, they know exactly who's the guy, and they know who's going to be the number 2 guy, and it's just all cookie cutter.
Right.
You know what you're going to get. And I kind of like that my team's young, which means we might get a big performance from someone that you weren't expecting. And, like I said, high school basketball, you get 8 points from someone off the bench. That's a big deal. Help you win games. So I really like that we're versatile would probably be the word that I throw out in terms of how we can score. Who can score for us.
Right.
We can get nights from multiple different people who can be double-digit scorers for us. I really like that.
Great. Well, how this team is maybe different from other teams you've coached. I know you kind of touched on that, but anywhere you can elaborate?
Yeah, probably the youth and experience just in general. What we've kind of talked to the players about too is nobody on this team has the role that they had last year. Traditionally, you have some guys who play a similar role, or, you have a junior who had a huge role, and so he's playing a comparable role as a senior. For the most part, I really only returned one guy in Tyler Lopez, who was kind of like our 6th, 7th man last year. So going from 6th, 7th man to you're the number one guy on the depth chart is a huge jump. Then I have a lot of guys who are in my rotation who were on JV last year. A lot of guys who played sparring minutes last year, not really meaningful minutes, probably scoring less than 10 points a game. So to have a core group of guys who really all are new to what we're asking them to do is very new for us as a coaching staff. You can normally lean on that one kid. And,
right.
You know what I'm talking about. And, when coach gets mad in practice and says, we got to do this better. And it's just brand new and fresh for everyone, which is really weird coming off last year where I had the same exact group for 3 years coming through.
Right.
So I've had to work out my kinks and be a little bit better at my job with this group. So we're both learning together on that.
Right. Well, let's talk about some other players that maybe we should know. Is there maybe another senior that fans should know? Who would you consider your hardest worker on the team?
We have another captain who's played really good in the past week, Joe Ojeda. Mm-hmm. He's the guy you're going to notice first when you walk into a gym because he probably likes the weight room more than anyone I've ever coached. So he looks strong. He is strong. He's someone that when he catches the ball low to the basket, he is going to be a problem in stopping. He can step out and hit shots well. He's a good free throw shooter for us. Try and play an up-tempo style, and his speed for his strength is pretty good too. Mm-hmm. So with Tyler being our tallest player and Joe, and then we have a sophomore in Isaiah Williamson, who's kind of talented, very similar to Tyler. We kind of have a collection of 3 bigs who, do a lot for us defensively, rebound, score inside, and the 3 of them are kind of like that strength and core of our team.
How about an energy guy? You got a guy that brings a spark when you need it?
Yeah, another captain for us, Matt Lau. Whether it's just running around defensively or he's the guy who's going to bring energy to practice, everyone feeds off his kind of energy. Sometimes it's crazy energy, too much for me, where I just got to look the other way because it's good for the team, but it's not my style. I'm a little more mild-mannered, but we definitely respond to him as the emotional leader for kind of getting up in people defensively, and that's our style, is to press. We press the whole game. So I think it is a fun style to watch, and definitely someone who leads that force for you and wanting to be scrappy. He can, when he dives on the ground or takes a charge, the team gets fired up from him. So he's a lot of fun to watch and definitely a key piece for kind of bringing that energy for us.
Well, I was going to ask you who that enforcer is, that guy that's willing to take a charge, that junkyard dog. So maybe that's him, huh, Matt?
Yeah, Matt does a lot of that. We have another kid, and Sean Lee, who's a senior. Mm-hmm. He is your prototypical, what you would say is does everything. Mm-hmm. He's not the
player.
Yes,
we call it.
He can rebound. He will definitely lead our team in charges. I know we're only 9 games in. He leads now. He'll lead at the end of the year. He's good at it. He can hit threes. He can get to the rim. Just so versatile himself as a player that when you piece him in with some of our other pieces, it's just a great guy to have out on the floor. He's the kind of guy that you might have a big night from him. You might get that double-digit scoring. You might get 0 points from him, but when he's out there, he does a lot of good things.
And who's that communicator? That guy that's quarterbacking the defense, the guy you can hear from the parking lot. You got a guy like that, or if you already talked about it?
That's probably the guy I mentioned early, Tyler Lopez.
Yes.
When he does that, he has the most varsity experience. I think he was our leading scorer in the CIF championship game last year. He has a lot of athleticism, a lot of ability. When he gets in those moments where he feels comfortable as a leader and a player, I think his experience just overrides the moment for a team that is really young. And so when he steps up and starts coaching up other kids and knowing what to do, as he's starting to get more comfortable this year, we're seeing that come out of him, and it's really impacting others positively in a way that you would say is your standard vocal leader.
Got it. Let's see. Next, I'm looking for maybe the most improved, somebody that's grown a lot visibly, just either maybe through the season or since you've been coaching him through the program. Anyone stand out as maybe most improved or pleased with his development, where he started, where he is now?
Yeah, I think my first thought is maybe a tricky one in Landon Dorsey. He's a senior for us. I think I don't know if it's most improved as much as I want to say under the radar. He's been injured, so like his improvement sometimes is just, hey, you didn't get hurt snowboarding, so you're playing for us. He's missed games from a concussion this year. It just seems to find him in that way. But when he's out there, because he's always coming off injury, he always has to improve from that back to us. He is very similar to Matt Lau in scrappiness, does a lot of stuff for us. His movement off ball on offense helps other people move, makes sure the ball doesn't stick, does a lot of things on the floor that we just say are like modeling leadership by how he acts on the floor.
Do you have a guy that says, I want to guard the best player on the other team? Let me take that guy, coach.
I have a handful of those kids. No one who stands out in particular.
Yeah.
We press, we zone, we do a lot of things to create pressure. So if you want to play at all, you have to have that mentality. So I would say collectively, it's hard to go up and down our roster of guys who are shying away from that challenge and want that.
Right. But he's got us, whoever that kid is, he's got a spot in the starting lineup, that best defender.
Yeah.
I always say, and the best rebounder. You guys, I don't know who it is, but you got a guaranteed spot in that starting lineup.
Definitely.
Just prove it to me.
The guys who want to rebound with our size, we're not as big as some other teams in our area. Definitely the teams that we've been playing recently, we're not as big. So even if you're point guard, you got to be able to rebound, and it's what extends minutes for guys or shortens them and puts them on the bench if the rebounding thing isn't going well for them. Right.
Nobody wants to. Yeah. Okay. How about this character and leadership? Leader, maybe a guy when things get tough, he doesn't get rattled. Maybe a teammate everybody respects. He's just that locker room guy.
Yeah, I think that is. I hate to say that it's a collection or committee, but our three captains in Tyler Lopez, Joe Ojeda, and Matt Lau, they all bring something different. Tyler's experience, Joe's work ethic, Matt's emotional energy. Collectively, the three of them would be that ideal basketball player. But sometimes that's good to kind of disperse in what moments you're looking to turn to one person so that, we can weather storms a little bit better and we're not as reliant on one 17-year-old kid for our success.
Right. All right, and you carry it's a big roster, 18?
We got 19 kids.
19,
yeah.
Boy.
So that pressing style that we have, we do it every day in practice, and we play a lot during a game. Our rotation is probably bigger than an average high school team, and our practice player rotation has to be that way. We have to have guys who can challenge each other on the press when we just press each other for 5 minutes back and forth. And it's hectic, it's up and down, it's high tempo, it's physical, and we need bodies to do that. And it's something that I think really helped our success last year. When you try and tell all the kids that, I don't know how much they believe, how much they're helping you if they're not scoring points in the game. But we play a lot of teams who don't have the depth, and you can see that they probably didn't get practice against this type of thing because their 6 through 10 in practice hasn't been able to challenge 1 through 5. So when we have success on the floor with 9, 10 guys, you have to credit the other 9 or 10 guys who are also in practice challenging them to improve.
Right.
So it is trying to be a part of that kind of, everyone as a whole is helping build our style that helps us win games.
So that practice squad is very important. They may not get a lot of playing time in the games, but they are instrumental to the success of the team, especially the style you play, the tough defense, the press.
Definitely. We're trying to never take a play off, and if you take a play off in our practice, there should be a light that's shown on that because someone else is conditioned well enough to run by you or physically push you around. So really holding everyone accountable by having the extra guys in there who are always working their butts off to do what they need to do, to kind of extend what that standard is for our conditioning and physicality in our practice.
Right. And when you do get those minutes, you want to impact the game somehow, some way with what you're
Definitely.
good at.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you're gonna earn more time in the future. Okay. Well, let's talk about what's ahead, maybe, because we have 5 games left non-league before league starts.
We play Crean Lutheran next week, right before Christmas. Probably another team that you could mark on the schedule as being an open division potential team. They got a lot of size compared to our size. Rolling Hills Prep for us was a revenge game for them because we had played them in playoffs last year. We ended Crean Lutheran season last year in the playoffs, so they're probably going to come out with some vengeance for that. And then we go to the Damien tournament. We're in the 3rd division down, high quality teams. It's going to be a gauntlet of five days of 4 games, and try and piece what we can, and hopefully those 5 games12 us for our league opener, which is CDM, the most talented team in our league. So we're hoping that everything that we do in our first 12, 15 games puts us in a spot to where we're coming into that game not scared and prepared to play a very, very good team.
I'm going to circle that game right now on the calendar.
Yeah.
January 5th. I'm not going to miss that one. So where is this Damien Classic in case the fans want to
It's in Laverne, Damien High School.
Laverne,
they
that's not too far.
have 10 different divisions, so I'm not sure where our first game is, but they bounce around at different schools in that area for hosting. It's a very high caliber tournament. Last year we were in the top division and had a very good team, went 1-3 for the week. So you're going to play some of the best teams in the state and teams from out of the state when you're in this tournament. Very well-run tournament. Definitely high talent that, like I said, is trying to help us prepare for our league and what it looks like to go through some of these quality teams.
I love the approach, Coach. Okay, let's see what is left here. Let's talk about the fans and their support and why they should go to the games. I mean, you've convinced me. You're putting a great product on the floor. These games are fun to go to. They're 32 minutes long, which is these games are over within an hour, right? It's winter time. We're indoors. You're not dealing with the elements. These games are exciting, and I don't know where you can get a floor seat for about $10 if you get there early enough.
Yeah, we're in a new gym this year, so brand new. It's very nice, state of the art.
Yeah.
The old gym that we used to play in, the fans would be right on the floor. Like us in Newport Harbor had kids just right there.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a big home court advantage for us. I think it has always been for Newport Harbor. That's got to be the loudest gym. I don't know how they get the echo in there to work the way that it does. So we're in this big facility now. I don't know what that's going to look like with our sound and our fans taunting other players. But we've had very good support from other programs on our campus. Baseball players, lacrosse, football players coming out, supporting our kids, taunting the other kids, creating that environment. And yeah, the Los Al Locos do their job in helping create a home court advantage for us.
So the student section is called the Locos.
Yeah.
And they're very important to the team. I mean, there's nothing better than playing in front of your friends and family. And
definitely. They help, like I said, create that environment of success and rowdiness, the noise. We play a style, like I said, that up-tempo, the pressing, the physicality. It's a little bit of showtime. Not as good as LMU back in the day, but we like to say it's a poor man's version of that. So fun to watch, that keeps people engaged. No one wants to come and watch a 22-21 game.
No.
So we like to put up numbers, gets the fans involved, and kind
You
of creates
gotta-
a fun environment.
A secret you can let us in on? Do they have to get a shot up in the first 6 or 9 seconds, or?
No, we don't have any secret like that. We do a lot of drills where we challenge them in that regard.
Yeah.
We give them 7 seconds to shoot.
Yeah.
But a lot
Shoot
of it's
it or move it, right?
yeah,
Shoot
a
it
lot
or
of it's
move
just
it.
putting pressure. You got to
Yeah.
put pressure on the defense at all times. I don't want sideways dribbles. I don't want you standing and dribbling. I want them getting tired. I mean, if I'm going to run you as much as I'm going to run you in the fall and winter, you might as well put it to use, you know?
Wish I had a coach like you when I was playing. Okay, how about let's get back to the student section. Do they travel pretty well? Do they hit the road with you guys?
They will for
Yeah.
big games here
Yeah,
and there.
yeah, cool.
Definitely will show up and do a good job. Last year's playoff run was phenomenal. We played some games where we had more fans on the road than they had at home, which was great. Showed up really big in our CIF championship game, created a lot of noise. Seems to be that they always like to come to the Edison game. Seems to have been our rival in basketball for the last couple years. But
Yep, makes sense.
our league's been so good up and down with CDM, like I said, being so talented this year. Fountain Valley's still undefeated at this point. You know, Marina's been a kind of a rival too because of how close they are. So it, like I said, there's very few nights off in our league trying to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Get our fans to come out and support us in those as well.
Well, it looks to me like there's a lot of games to circle on this calendar to go watch, must-see games. Well, Coach, that gives us some great color on the program. In closing, well, we just talked about that. I'm looking at games that are kind of must-see that we should circle on the calendar. Do you guys have a senior night, anything?
Our senior night will be the last home game of the year, so that'll be Edison,
Okay,
February 2nd.
that's an important one.
Yeah. Probably our biggest game circled on the calendar. Always, you know, we would say it even if it wasn't the case. The first league game, you got to get off on the
Yes.
right footing as much as you can. And you said you already circled that earlier,
Yes, January 5th.
but you get an opportunity to have a home game against one of the better teams in the state in your new facility for your first league game. Seems like a lot of pressure to get it done. So
Right.
hopefully our boys are ready to go.
Right. Well, folks, that's Coach Berger giving us an inside look at boys varsity basketball at Los Alamitos. Best of luck with the remainder of the season. We'll see you at
Appreciate
the
it.
gym.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
job.